people who are Here you go, let's see. Okay. That's what we're doing them now.
Oh, okay.
Last one, that's good. Right, we're good. Go ahead and bring one up here. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you so much. A little late minute hustling. If I can have your attention, please. Gonna get this show on the road. Welcome, everyone. It is a great day to be a Razorback, especially after Saturday night. Glad to have everybody here. Woo pig. Without further ado, Matt, if you can give me a little Razorback music, it is time to meet our honorees. We're going to bring them up to the head stage. We'll save our Little Rock Touchdown Club official welcome, and now we're just keeping your seats, and we'll just get everybody up on stage and let them be recognized, and we can start the program. First of all, for 45 years, he's remained the all-time touchdown king in Razorback football. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Bill Bernett. Next, we have the all-time scoring king of Razorback basketball, a two-time All-American, Todd Day. One of the greatest and most clutch hog wide receivers of all time. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame, Chuck Dicus. One of the most dominant U of A women's basketball players of all time. She set the bar for all future women players at the U of A, Betty Fiscus. One of the fastest, hardest hitting, and most talented linebackers to ever wear a hog on his helmet. He was known as Thumper, is represented by his wife Ann today, Wayne Harris Sr. As a Hog player, he was an All-American. As a Hog head coach, he has the best winning percentage in Razorback history. Coach Ken Hatfield. One of the greatest pass rushers in both Razorback history and New Orleans Saints history, Wayne Martin. Honoree laid the foundation for the greatest track program in college history. He was the first great distance runner under John McDonald. He is represented today by his wife, Marcia, Niall O'Shaughnessy. And our last honoree, one of the greatest and most versatile defensive players in Razorback history, two-time All-American and College Football Hall of Famer, Billy Ray Smith, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show these folks a Little Rock Touchdown Club welcome, our honorees of the 2015 class, Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. I thought it would only be appropriate that we start this meeting with the sound that we heard over the weekend. That was just a wonderful, wonderful sound. Matt, if you have that, would you do me a favor and punch that up?
Allen gets the snap. Got all kinds of time. He's going to fire to the sideline, complete to Henry, but Hunter well shy of the first down. He's going to lateral it back. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Collins. Alex has got room at the 30, 25, 20. Collins at the 15, cuts back at the 10. This game's still alive, and the Hogs have a first down. Hunter Henry lateraled it back over his head, Keith, and we're still playing football. Out of the eye, they'll set up Sprinkle as the fullback. He could also be a pass catcher. Collins is the tailback. They fake a draw to the end zone. In the air, complete! Touchdown, Arkansas, Drew Morgan. Allen in the gun. They bring Morgan in motion again. Brandon gets the snap. He's going to keep the football into the end zone. Arkansas wins. The Razorbacks win. The Razorbacks have won the football game. Brandon Allen with a 2-point conversion, and the Hogs win it. 53-52 the final on an epic day in Oxford, Mississippi. How about them Hogs?
How about them Hogs?
All right. Thank you, Chuck Barrett and Keith Jackson, for that one. Had to start off the meeting with that. What a great victory that was for the Razorbacks. I thought set the tempo for today's meeting. Today we have Razorback royalty on stage, and can't wait to hear from every one of the honorees today. As usual, we get started with a prayer from Gary Underwood. Gary, will you come up and lead us, please?
David told me to come fire y'all up. I don't think I need to. I think y'all got it. Has everybody's heart started back? That was crazy, wasn't it? Also, one other real quick question. Is everybody back on the bandwagon now? Absolutely, right? Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the great day that you've given us, the opportunity to honor these men and women, and we just ask you to use us the rest of this day in your service. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, Gary. I want to remind everybody next week, Tony Bua will be speaking at the Touchdown Club back in West Little Rock. Can't wait to hear Tony. I've never heard him speak, but one of the great overachievers. Wasn't the biggest guy, but would lay a lick on you, and a great defensive player for the Hogs. That's next week. George Schroeder from USA Today will be our last speaker of the year, so look forward to having you there. I want to remind everybody, December 8th, the 20th annual Broyles Award. Can you believe this is the 20th year of the Broyles Award? And so we'd love to have you there December 8th for that particular meeting. I do want to welcome someone to the stage who we met last year for the first time. He does a great job. He is the president and CEO for the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And only after 1 year on the job, I hear he's doing outstanding work. It's been great to work with him. He takes what he does seriously. This is an important event for him. Please welcome Jared Mosley.
Thank you, David. On behalf of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame and the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, I want to welcome you all here. This is a fantastic event for us. The opportunity to be able to gather and recognize some of the greatest men and women who ever participated in what I believe is one of the greatest conferences ever is truly an honor for us. And we take very seriously the opportunity to be able to share those stories and to be able to preserve the legacies of some of the best that sports has to offer. And I want to thank a few people here today. Obviously, we have several other Southwest Conference Hall of Famers in the audience. I know I saw Coach Norm DeBrine, Lloyd Phillips is here. If you are a member of the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, please stand and let us recognize you as well. John McDonald, Bill Montgomery. It is truly an honor. In 2010, we decided that we needed to establish the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, and a group of individuals from our Board of Trustees, some of you have met Carol Dawson, Tom Stanton, Bill Montgomery was very instrumental. They had a vision for being able to do this, and we opened a wing of our museum which is phenomenal. If you haven't been there, you need to swing by next time you're in Waco. But very grateful for the people who had the vision for that. One of the key factors for us is to have participation from the schools. And we were not, despite being the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, we were not going to move forward with this Southwest Conference Hall of Fame project if we could not bring the University of Arkansas fully on board. And very important to us to have this representation. So being here means a lot to us. I want to thank Bill Montgomery. Bill is on our selection committee with the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame and our Board of Trustees, and Bill does a fantastic job as an ambassador for your university. And Bill, I want to thank you for the work that you do with the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. I'd also like to thank Kevin Trainer, and I know Jeff Long could not be here today, but those guys have been phenomenal to work with and really have provided a lot of resources to us. And so Kevin, definitely pass along our sentiments to Jeff. We appreciate the many ways that you guys support our effort. I'd also like to thank all of our selection committee. You can find more information in your program about that. Individuals, as I mentioned, like Carol Dawson and current project chair Tom Stanton, who have just a deep love for the Southwest Conference. And I want to thank the Little Rock Touchdown Club. This, the opportunity for us to not have to create an event and to have the privilege to join you guys today is phenomenal. And David, you and your staff, Debbie does an outstanding job. Let's give a round of applause to the Little Rock Touchdown Club for today's effort. I also would like to thank our presenting sponsor today, Stevens. We have Mr. Rick Blank here, and I'm very grateful for their support of this event. We have so many sponsors, I know, with the Little Rock Touchdown Club, but for us to be able to have the type of corporate support as well as each one of you here today allows us to continue to build on this each and every year. And we certainly look forward to being back here in Little Rock in future years. And to all of our inductees, congratulations once again. Very deserving honor, and we're proud to have you in the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Jared. I told the story on 103.7 The Buzz this morning. This is a true story. Came up from Panama City, Florida, initially signed by Coach Holtz and ended up playing for Coach Hatfield too. But I grew up in SEC country, and so I didn't know until I got up here. I'd been in Fayetteville about a month. I remember asking my teammate, I was looking at the conference. I said, wait a minute. We're the only school in this conference that's not from the state of Texas? That can't be fair. That can't be right. And I mentioned last night at the reception we had, and sure enough, we were behind in the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame already, but now we're responding, and do want to thank Jared for his support. And he called it a pig call last night, but we're going to get him worked out where it's a hog call. We're going to do one of those here in just a few minutes too. If you will allow me to thank a few sponsors real quick, as we do each week for our Touchdown Club. I want to thank Twin City Limousine, who picks up all of our speakers each week. Couldn't do it without them. We're proud to be called the Little Rock Touchdown Club, so I do want to thank LRCVB. Thank you so much for their support. 103.7 The Buzz, we're doing 7 hours of live programming today, 4 hours this morning, 3 up until 1 o'clock, including this whole telecast right now. Do want to thank CJRW for their support of the Cliff Harris Award and promoting that. Epic Men's Health, saving lives every day. Proud to have Epic Health as one of our sponsors for, I think, the third year in a row. Thank them. Farm Bureau of Pulaski County. We encourage you to give them a chance to give you some of their business. It's a multi-line insurance company, and do want to thank the folks at Farm Bureau of Pulaski County for being a sponsor of the Touchdown Club this year. Wendy's back on board again for the Dan Hampton and Willie Rofe Awards. Do want to thank Wendy's so much for what they do. Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings, Judy Henry, and her entire staff. We're so proud to have them as our sponsor, and they've sponsored both the Cliff Harris Award and the Touchdown Club. Judy, we thank you, and Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings for your support. Also want to thank Crane Automotive. I know Drew is here today. I don't know if Larry is here today, but Larry Crane and the Crane family, thanks so much for their support of the Touchdown Club and what they do in the state of Arkansas, and supporting many things, including the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame as well. The Democrat Gazette has been a sponsor with us every year. Thanks to Wally Hall and Amanda Copley for their support every year and the coverage that they give us. And finally, our presenting sponsor, Simmons Bank. At the head table, we have Adam Mitchell and Barry Ledbetter today. And Adam and Barry, thank you so much for your support. We couldn't have the kind of years we had if not for Simmons Bank. They're a great presenting sponsor, and we're proud to have all of our great sponsors. If you'll give them a round of applause real quick, I'd appreciate that. a few other sponsors that were added as a special sponsorship for this event. The Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation, the University of Arkansas, the University of Arkansas Athletic Department, and the Razorback Foundation. All those folks contributed, so we say thanks to them. And as Jared said earlier, we're so appreciative that Stephen stepped up, and I know Warren was very supportive, and Stevens Inc. And at this time, just to say a couple of comments, would you please welcome Rick Blank, Managing Director for Stevens Inc. Rick?
Thank you, David. It's a real honor for me to be up here, and on behalf of Warren, he unfortunately had to be out of town this week, and I just want to thank everybody for being here, and it's an honor for Stevens to do this, because the Southwest Conference and the Stevens family, I think they go way back together, and it's Arkansas Razorback football, Arkansas Razorback sports are very important to Warren and his family. I know he's a huge supporter, and I know he'd be here if he could. I do have to say one little story about these gentlemen and these ladies up here today. It's a real honor to be around them, but one particular story goes back to being a young kid in 1969, and back then you got one football game every weekend. And I can remember Texas, Arkansas like it was yesterday, and I grew up in Florida. So and I remember Chuck Dicus, and I remember Bill Montgomery, and the first day I moved here, from when I moved here 30 years ago, and I got to meet Chuck, it was something special, just because I remember him from that football game. So, again, enjoy it, and thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. I want to thank a few other folks real quick, part of the Touchdown Club team. Matt Johnson, who handles our AV production. Thank you, Matt. Dwayne Duncan, who takes all of our photos each week. Thank you, Dwayne Duncan. Brent Passmore, who handles our website. By the way, I've told family members right now, and we'll ask you to silence your phone here shortly, but if you want a family member or friend to see today's ceremony, they can watch it live on lrtouchdown.com. It's a website. So if you want to text somebody real quick and say, hey, if you want to see Uncle Billy Ray or whoever it is to give a speech, all the speeches will be carried live. That's what Matt's doing, live stream on lrtouchdown.com. So you check out that website there. Also, RJ Hawk, thanks for handling our social media. Our Twitter is at lrtouchdownclub if you want to tweet out anything today. And as Jared said, we got an amazing group of ladies who check everybody in. They do it for free every week. Debbie Wyman does an outstanding job. And this is, listen, I know probably not everything was perfect today, but we're a volunteer organization and we hustle and try our best. But let's give our Touchdown Club team a round of applause for the work they do. Now, we don't have any Democrat Gazette Player of the Week. We'll do 2 next week. And no Rex recap. What a weekend. It would have been a great one to recap, Rex. Oh, my gosh, I hate that. So Rex has the weekend off. No recap today. I do want to thank Jim Rasco. No introduction for you, Jim. That'll all be handled by Sully here in a minute. But thank you guys for what you do each week. And I did want to say real quick that all these honorees, I told them last night, they're all deserving of a banquet by themselves. They really are. They deserve to get up here and have 20 minutes. But they're not going to have it, and it makes it special to have all of them here at once. But just a shame we don't have a situation where we could honor each one of them week after week after week, because that's what they're certainly deserving to have. I did want to say I have noticed, and I want to recognize them now, not only are there some great athletes on this stage and representing great athletes on this stage, but there are some great athletes in the crowd. There are some, if a football game broke out right now in this area, we would dominate. We'd be favored by 10 or 14 because there are some great players, former Razorbacks. And if you're a former Razorback player, coach, I saw Coach Turner, I saw Dean Weber, trainer. But if you're a player, please stand and let's recognize those Razorback players real quick. Guys, stand up if you're a coach. Some of the great Razorback players right here. And then if you don't mind, there's a lot of great honorees, and they will say if it weren't for their family, they wouldn't be where they are. If you're a family member supporting honorees today, please stand and let's welcome them today. Family members honoring the honorees today. It is so great to have all of you here. Last year was a great program, and even though I grew up from Florida, it's been fun to listen to everybody talk about their favorite heroes. And having an event like this makes me have so much pride to have been a Razorback. And I think I told all of our honorees, enjoy the day. I will ask this. After we're done today, for those who want to get an autograph or picture, you're more than welcome. But realize there are a lot of people that want to get a picture, and there are a lot of people that want to get an autograph, so don't get one of the athletes and talk to him for 20 minutes. Just have a quick hello, picture, sign, and then let somebody else do that. But to begin the program, we have a guy who did a great job last year. He needs no introduction here in Central Arkansas. 30 years in Arkansas television, including 14 years at KATV, the ABC affiliate. He's been the Sportscaster of the Year 3 times, has won the AP Best Sportscaster Award 13 times, and has been inducted into the Arkansas Sportscaster and Sports Writers Hall of Fame. He's a great buddy of mine. Nobody brings the energy like this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Sullivan.
All right, I'm used to award shows like the Landers Award where we honor the finalists and then we pick a winner, and I'm a highly competitive guy. So someone asked me if you had to pick a winner out of this group, and I'll be totally honest, I have no clue. This is one incredible group. And I'm going to try to channel my best Brandon Allen today. Just get it out quick and let my playmakers do the work. I came to Arkansas in 1982, and one thing I really enjoy seeing is in meeting is guys I didn't get a chance to watch in person. Guys I see on tape and guys I read about. And sometimes the image matches the perception, like Bruce James. I could see him being an All-American tackle, a defensive end when I look at him. But it was several years ago, and I met Bill Bernett for the first time at an FCA event. And I was thinking, touchdown maker. This guy's going to be kind of like, bigger than life. There he is over there. I think that's what makes him even more special. There were bigger and faster backs than Bill Bernett, but I challenge you to find a more dependable and productive back than Bill Bernett. A 2-time All-Southwest Conference performer, rushed 526 times for 2,204 yards, but what made him special is the big yardage. Bill Montgomery said if the Hogs needed 2 yards, it was money. Think of all the great backs in Razorback history. Think of the expanded schedules, and this is amazing. He still holds the Arkansas single-season record for touchdowns, 19 in 1969. Career record, 46, and his 120 points in 1969, still a Razorback record. Love lists if you're a sportscaster. You look at fullback, tailback combo in Razorback history. I challenge you to find a better 2 than Bruce Maxwell and Bill Bernett. And he's gone on to do just unbelievable work for the FCA. It's my pleasure to introduce Southwest Conference Hall of Famer, Dr. Bill Bernett.
Is that it? Okay. See, I got to set the tone for the day here. I've got 5 minutes to say a whole lot. I couldn't possibly say what I'd like to in 5 minutes. I do acknowledge the fact that I don't look like myself, But I was humiliated a bit when I was introduced at one point as the Barney Fife of college football. So we had a lot of fun with that. We always had a lot of fun, and I had a great team to play with, and I just want to talk a little bit about. First of all, I'm going to talk about a Bible verse that I read not long ago, and it was really an impacting verse when I read it. It says, "What do you have that you did not receive?" What do you have that you did not receive? That's a very important question, isn't it? And I'd never asked myself that. And I had to go through that a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to think of something that I haven't received. And, of course, the implied answer, if you go on and read on, is nothing. You have nothing that you haven't received from the hand of God, from the hand of a human being that was an instrument of his, and I started thinking about it in those terms, and it was amazing what I came up with as far as just the gratitude of what I've received in my life, just the incredible gifts of grace, I call them. And I think back on it, and I had a wonderful family. I had a father who was an incredible athlete at Arkansas State Teachers College, 14 varsity letters. Can you imagine? Went on to have a great coaching career. He had 4 state championships in 3 different sports. But I had a great role model, and he was a fine person. My mother was just incredible. She was just, you're talking about a lady that grew up, in a coach's home with 3 boys. And I'm telling you what, she struggled to be feminine, to be a woman. And, but we just wore her out, I'll guarantee you. But she was a perseverer. She was one who endured a lot and showed us boys what it meant to endure in life. And she wanted us to all be well-rounded. We all played in the band, and I'll tell you the truth. I was 6 years old, and she signed me up for ballet. And I went to ballet. But, and I go on from there, and I look at the teachers and the coaches and the mentors that I had in all different areas. I think about those great years at the University of Arkansas. That was the foundation stone for me in my growth as a person. And I feel like I grew in so many different ways. And my teachers back in Smackover in Bentonville, they certainly would have said, yeah, there was plenty of room for growth, in terms of maturity and the academics and all. But that was just a great time for me. And my growth spiritually, I had a lot of mentors in college, one being Raymond Berry. And I know there were some others here that played under Raymond, and boy, just what an incredible man of God. And so it was a great opportunity for me to be around people like that. And I think about Don Bro, and Don was my position coach, and I just had a great love for Don because of the way that he cared for me, beyond the playing field. But I want to tell you, I want to just kind of close with a story that really just kind of demonstrates all of this, and just want you to understand the incredible gratitude that I have for those of you that are Razorback fans, the teammates, the guys that I played with, Bruce Maxwell. I couldn't name them all. They were a great group of guys, and I enjoyed every minute of that. But I could never name all the people that have touched my life in so many different ways. But I have to tell you how I got to where I was able to score those touchdowns. I went to the University of Arkansas. I was 155 pounds. 155 pounds, man, I'm telling you. And so I needed a lot of growing, but I didn't grow a whole lot because I only played at 182. But I remember being, ushered up to the varsity football field when I was a freshman, along with 3 or 4 other guys, because they didn't have any redshirt running backs. So we got to run plays against the varsity. Wasn't that fun? And we would go up there and get our brains beat out, and then go back down to the freshman field and run against the better players on the freshman team. And, so that's how we spent our time. And I went through that my fall of my freshman year. I went through that as the fall of my the spring of my freshman year, the fall of my redshirt year, the next year when I got redshirted. And so I remember running down to the locker room right before the first scrimmage of spring practice. Now, that was my second year there, and I ran down there and looked at the depth chart, to see where my name might be on the depth chart, Hey, this is my chance to make the varsity. Well, there were 10 tailbacks listed. I was number 9. My only consolation was I wasn't number 10. It was some quarterback they didn't know what else to do with, and they stuck him over there, and that's the only reason I wasn't number 10. But, I remember we went to the stadium for the scrimmage, and we went inside of the stadium there, and they used to have the pole vault pit there. And so I got in the pole vault pit because that was the best place to kind of watch what happens, because I knew I was not going to get in the game. Just like last Saturday, I knew we were not going to win, right? And that's where I was on the 9th team, half asleep in the pole vault pit. And they're out there playing, and Coach Bro had brought his pro-style game to Arkansas to implement that, and we were moving away from the I formation, and so he was anxious to have a great day for the offense, but they were getting killed. The defense was killing the offense, and so finally he threw his hat down the ground in exasperation. He said, "I haven't got a back out here that'll run the ball." Maybe a little more colorful than that, I don't know. And anyway, Coach Broyles, who's up in the bleachers, he's up there in his perch, kind of watching everything from up there. And I noticed though, that there was a voice that came out from the defensive side of the ball. And there was a guy by the name of Charlie Coffey, who was what you might think of as the defensive coordinator at that time. He's deceased now, but a wonderful man, a great coach. But he called out this. Now this is the defensive coach. He said, "Put Bernett in there. He'll run it." A guy beside me in the deal there punched me and said, "Hey, I think they're calling your name out there, And I couldn't find my my chin strap and my mouthpiece, to get ready to go in. I go in and had a great scrimmage, and the rest is history. But just think about that. That was you're talking about a ninth string tailback who endured because he had a mother and a dad and coaches and teachers and teammates and so many others that gave into his life those gifts of grace. What do you have that you have not received?
Well, I don't think we could have picked a better guy to lead off than Dr. Bernett. We have one excited photographer on Friday nights. His name is Chato Wilson, and he came in the other day and saw this list, and he said, "Todd Day's going to be there." This is a 20-something guy. You were his first hero as a Razorback, and I think about a generation of Razorback fans. That era is probably the best era they experienced, and he's the only one on this group that can say, and this is a good thing, he's actually hated by fans in 2 conferences. We're talking about the most prolific scorer in Razorback history. He broke Sidney Moncrief's record by scoring 2,395 points in his career. Also holds the school record for points in a season at 796. An instant star at Arkansas. Remember the All-Southwest Conference newcomer team as a freshman. As sophomore, he went to the Final Four. Junior and senior seasons, a first-team John Wooden All-American selection. In his final season, he powered the Hogs to the SEC title in the school's first season in the league. We can argue about who is the best player in Razorback history, but there's no argument when you look at the best offensive player ever to play for the University of Arkansas. And he was part of the best tandem ever to play at the University of Arkansas, Lee Mayberry and Todd Day. Southwest Conference Hall of Famer, Todd Day.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'd like to first give honor to the Lord Jesus Christ, who is the head of my life. I'd like to thank the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, the Southwest Conference, Little Rock Touchdown Club committees for honoring me with such a prestigious award. I'd like to thank all the coaches, teachers, mentors who were influential in my life as a development as an athlete, and better yet, as a man. I'd like to give a special thanks to my high school coach, my mentor, and most important of all, my great father, Ted Anderson. To Nolan Richardson, Frank Broyles, Mike Anderson and their staffs, my teammates, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller, and all the greats, and to all the great fans of this state, I'd just like to say thank you, give you a special thanks. Without your extra push, without your extra dedication to always being there, none of this would be possible. Arkansas may be the only place that a guy can make it to the NBA, and you walk into the NBA arena, and all you hear is that hog call. I mean, it's nothing like, our guys used to be like, what are they saying? What? I was like, don't even worry about it. You wouldn't understand. But what a special day this is to be honored into a Hall of Fame. But what a greater day it is to be honored with such a prestigious group of individuals who have accomplished so much success for their families, for the states, and for the university. Being up here with these inductees, being able to meet them, is a pleasure and an honor in itself. Let's give them another round of applause for their efforts. Before I go any further, I'd like to recognize my family and friends who are here with me today. Miss Betty Cole, Miss Betty Campbell, my favorite relative of all, LaDonna Walton, Shantae, Sharon, Daryl Swinton, Liz Swinton, my mother, Nicolette Anderson, my son, Todd Day Jr., his beautiful girlfriend, Taylor, and my lovely wife, Brenda. My son asked me a question on the way here that was very interesting to me, that kind of gave me direction of where to go in writing a speech. Or the question was, how does it feel to get inducted to a Hall of Fame? Here's your answer. Getting inducted to a Hall of Fame to me is validation that I gave my all to the sport. It means that I gave great sacrifices, some good, some bad, for the love of the game. It means that all my hard work, sweat, tears, frustration, cussing outs, joy, pain, being told can't say that, will be recognized forever. It means that I'll be recognized as a contributor to the Arkansas basketball program for years to come. It also means that I now have a voice, a passion to help other kids reach their true potential. It means I have the opportunity to help young men go to college, be successful, have families of their own. And that is what I plan to do. Before I sit down, I'd like to thank Bill Montgomery, Jared Mosley, Arkansas Democrat, Little Rock Touchdown Club, all the fans of Razorbacks. Like I said earlier, without any of you, none of this would be possible. You push myself and my teammates, and I'm sure these other inductees will say the same thing, to give their best at each and every time they hit the floor or the court. A wise man once said, he's not from Texas now. He said, when a Razorback is born, a Razorback is bred. And when I'll die, I'll be a Razorback dead. Thank you.
Boy, how great is this? I think you do some great events, Baz, but this is without a doubt my all-time favorite right here. All right, love lists. I mentioned if you talk quarterback and receiver, in my era, it's a lot Sterner and Lucas. But if you ask Razorback fans who spanned all the eras, I'd say right there is Montgomery and Dicus. You talk about one game, 1969 Sugar Bowl, I think the greatest performance ever by a Razorback receiver. Georgia was stacked, and their goal was to shut down the Arkansas running game. And they had a safety All-American who went on to be a NFL Hall of Famer, Jake Scott. And his goal was to shut down Chuck Dicus. You want to know what Chuck Dicus did on that game? 12 catches, 169 yards, the game's only score. A three-time All-Southwest Conference selection, a first-time All-American. His totals, these are amazing. 118 catches, that's been a school record for 25 years. 1,854 yards, that was a school record for 16 years. Now did great work for the Razorback Foundation. You can now find him with the Game and Fish Commission. Probably the best catch out of Garland, Texas, is Southwest Conference Hall of Famer Chuck Dicus.
Thank you very much.
First, I'd like to congratulate all of my fellow inductees. I've seen them all compete. They're tremendous athletes in their own sports, and they're certainly most deserving of this wonderful honor. I was born in Odessa, Texas, and raised in Garland. Now, that's two cities, in case you don't know, that have seen more than their fair share of high school success in football. My dad was an assistant coach at Texas High, so my destiny to play football was sealed at a very young age. For the past 57 years, I've been living the dream of a 10-year-old boy. All I ever wanted to be was a Razorback. But I'm here today to give credit where credit is due. A few weeks ago, my former coach and friend, Richard Williamson, died. I was nothing but a skinny kid that could run when he came to Arkansas. He taught me to run disciplined routes, he taught me to catch a football, and equally important, he taught me to block. I owe it all to him and to my teammates and coaches. To be honest, I don't know how many more opportunities I'll have to say thank you to my teammates, but I'm going to take advantage of every single opportunity I have. You see, I was just the beneficiary of good timing. I happened to show up when there was a rather large surplus of really good players at Arkansas. In 3 years, we were 28-5, and in 1969 played for the national championship, something no other Razorback football team has done since. So once again, I say thank you to my teammates and to my coaches. You know, these days, when I speak to a crowd or an audience, I'm usually asking for help or support for conservation education by joining the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation. I'm usually talking about the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission and the many good things that they are doing across the state. I usually point out how fortunate I am to be in Arkansas and to have an abundance of fish and wildlife that we have for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission to manage, regulate, and enforce the laws of the state of Arkansas. And by joining the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation, you can be a part of something that gives back to nature. I usually do that. But I'm not going to do that today. I just don't think it'd be appropriate. The website is agff.org. In closing, let me just say to the people of the state of Arkansas, thank you. Thank you to my teammates and coaches. Thank you to the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. I am truly honored and humbled to be a part of your history. Thank you.
I want to apologize to Todd Day. I failed to mention that he was the second Razorback to score 2,000 points. I'm going to quiz you now. Do you know who the first was? Betty Fiscus. She was the first player to score over 1,000 points in a career, broke the school record in only 2 seasons, averaged 18.5 points in her career. And this is amazing. Her career ended in 1985, but she still holds 12 Arkansas overall individual records, including total points, career scoring average, field goals, and free throws. And when she completed her career, not only Arkansas's career-leading scorer, but also career-leading rebounder. And what did she mean to the University of Arkansas? Her jersey number 5 was the first jersey, male or female, to be retired by the university. She's the pride of Wynne, Arkansas, and one of the first true greats in Lady Razorback sports. And she's a Southwest Conference Hall of Famer, Betty Fiscus.
With age comes wisdom and readers. So bear with me because I'm going to try not to use them. Woo pig suey. What a wonderful day to be a Razorback. What a great win over Ole Miss. Perfect timing for our get-together. I love being here. It's always wonderful to get back to Arkansas. First, I want to say thank you to the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame for choosing me to be in this great group of Razorbacks. Thank you to Jared and Bill for their hard work to get it organized. When I got a call from Bill, he was so sweet and complimentary, and I had not even met him. He made me feel so special, so thank you for that. I want to thank my family and friends for being here with me today. The older I get, the more special these times are, and I appreciate all the effort for y'all to get here. A special thank you to my brother Al for picking up our mama so she could be here. Just like Bill, I had great parents, great family, great childhood, 3 great older brothers, and I love them so much. Unlike Bill, I wish I could say I went to university at 155. I did not. Dang it. My best friend from birth is here with her husband, Holly and Tim. My best friend from Stillwater is here, Tricia. Then, the first of my 2 biggest accomplishments is here with her husband. My daughter Lauren and son-in-law Kurt are going to have their own big accomplishment in March. We just found out, we're going to have a grandson, and it's such a special time all the way around for us. Secondly, I have to mention and say a great big thank you from Stillwater. I've lived in Stillwater, Oklahoma for about 15 years, and I am so proud of the tribute Arkansas has done for Oklahoma State University. I was at the game last weekend and was touched to sign the banner with thousands of other Arkansans. I'm so proud of us for doing that for OSU and our community. I brought 2 items with me that I want to show right now. Goodies from way back when. Southwest Conference, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the mug and the shirt. It's been 30 years since I graduated. I've lived in 5 states, 17 houses, and I still have those. Very meaningful to be a part of such a great team and conference. I was born and bred a Razorback, like Todd mentioned, way before they even had girls basketball. So I was very fortunate they brought it back when they did, and I was able to play for the Razorbacks and be in the Southwest Conference. It was such a wonderful experience and has been a lifelong blessing. Again, thank you for this special ceremony. I'm so grateful and honored to be remembered. It's so good to see fellow Razorbacks and meet my inductees. I told Chuck Dicus earlier, I said he was so famous, everybody called me Betty Ficus. Anyway, Woo Pig Suey, thank y'all.
Well, if you have a nickname, you have to live up to it. And anyone who was ever associated with the Thumper from 7th grade to his time in the Canadian Football League would agree that he earned that nickname. Frank Broyles said Wayne Harris, and he paid him the ultimate compliment. He said he was everything an Arkansas Razorback player should be. We're getting into weights today. He weighed only 189 pounds. Coach Broyles said that was good because if he was any heavier, he would have hurt people. The Thumper was a Razorback team captain in 1960, had a record 174 tackles and leading the Hogs to the Southwest Conference Championship. A 2-time All-Southwest Conference player, was voted the league's most outstanding player in 1960, went on to become one of the greatest linebackers ever in Canadian Football League history. In fact, his number 55 is retired by the Calgary Stampeders. A great linebacker, and those that knew him said a greater man. Wayne Harris died in June, and his wife Ann is here to accept his honor as a Southwest Conference Hall of Famer.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be back in the state of Arkansas. As some of you may know, We live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But Arkansas is always the home in our hearts, and we love the Hogs, and we love y'all, and thank you so much for inviting me to accept this honor for Wayne. And I want to thank all involved. And I also want to congratulate all the inductees that are here today, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful honor to be part of this wonderful group and this wonderful organization. My boys would have loved to have been here today, but they're both football coaches. One is a head coach for the University of Calgary Dinos, and they have a record right now of 9-0. So we're very proud of that. Our other son is a defensive coordinator at Fort Hays University in Fort Hays, Kansas. And I think their record right now is 8-3, so they're doing very well as well. So I'm proud of them. But there was always a joke around the players' wives and the coaches' wives that if one of us were to pass away during football season, they just have to put us on ice till after the And I know that all of you probably know, or most of you know, Wayne's accomplishments on the football field. I think right now this particular honor for Wayne makes number 12 of the Hall of Fame that Wayne has been inducted in. And we're so appreciative of that. And Wayne was so proud of the honors that were bestowed on him, as was I. But I'd like to just give you a little insight into the man, and he was a wonderful man. When I was 12 years old, I moved from big city, Memphis, Tennessee, down to South Arkansas in a rural area. And the neighborhood kids decided to take me on a snipe hunt. And they told me, you know, just hold this gunny bag. Well, I didn't even know what a gunny bag was. But anyway, I'm sure you all know the story about snipe hunting. They took me out into this clearing and they told me they were going to go in the woods and bang the whatever they were banging and rush the snipe out, and I was to catch him in this gunny bag. Well, of course, they all disappeared. And I'm sitting there, big city girl in rural Arkansas, not having a clue what is happening to me. And wasn't too long before out of the woods came Wayne Harris. He came out to rescue me, and that just kind of shows the character of the man. And thus started our 64-year journey together. And oh, what a journey it has been. As he showed in his opportunity to take this dumb little city girl out of the woods, that was his character for the rest of his life. He did everything that he could to help his fellow men, his fellow players, his community. He just did everything behind the scenes. He never asked for accolades. He never asked for recognition, but he was given it, and of that we were so grateful. We were late for training camp the first time that we went to Calgary, Alberta, where Wayne was drafted to play, because he had been playing in, I can't remember if it was a college all-star game or if it was an East-West game, but anyway, he was exhausted. And we had a little baby at that time. He was about 1.5 years old, And we were driving up to the wild north. We had no idea what we were going into. But anyway, as I said, Wayne was exhausted. And I said, well, let me drive. I would love to drive. And he said, okay. He said, now when you get up here to highway such and such, you turn to your right. And I'm going to just take a little quick nap here in the back seat. Well, we got up to highway such and such, and it was a split highway. And I thought, he was wrong. He meant turn to the left. Well, we ended up back where we had started from. And I was not a very popular person because we were late for training camp anyway. And I had no idea at that time that if we was going to make the team or not make the team. It just never occurred to me. But late we were. But when we got there, we had this beautiful city sprawled out in front of us in Canada. We had no idea. It was just, we got there late in the evening, and the lights were twinkling like little jewels, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful place. But Wayne, next day, got on his little uniform, and there was a little incline to go down to the practice field. And here comes this 185-pound man coming down this hill and to the practice field, and everybody on the field laughed at him. They said, is this our Savior that's coming from the South? And but they did not laugh for long, believe you me. But he just finally, one of the coaches came to him and said, now, Wayne, you know, we have to play a game on Saturday. And would you please stop hitting your teammates so hard, because we would really like to be able to field a team. And anyway, that he was well respected by everyone who knew him, both on and off the field. And also, the coaches came to him, or came together and said, whatever you do not coach this man. Just let him do his own thing. And that he did. He had gotten wonderful coaching from Wilson Matthews, Frank Broyles, and his high school coach, Garland Gregory. They were happy just to have him on the field. And he did reap havoc, let me tell you. And Wayne never forgot where he came from. He loved the Razorbacks. At that time when we were up in Canada, the TV coverage wasn't what it is now. But every time Arkansas would play and we had the opportunity, we'd grab our two little children, get in the car, and drive down to the American-Canadian border, rent a hotel room, and root for the Hogs. And we... Wayne was such a quiet man, unassuming. He always worked behind the scenes to promote whatever was asked of him. He was a kind and gentle soul off the football field, quiet and unassuming, and he never said no to any charity that was big or small. But I remember one time in particular, a little college group had called Wayne, and he was supposed to go and speak to them, and he had been so exhausted, and he had been out on the speaking circuit, and he just came home and fell in the bed, forgetting about this small group that he was supposed to speak at. And they called him and said, where are you? And Wayne got up, and he got out of bed, and he went and he spoke to them, and that was just the character of the man. He would have never let anybody down or be disappointed. Also, you know, he was a great man at home. He was just wonderful with our children. But in the community, we lived in a pretty close to a four-way stop. And at that time, there was no stop signs, and there were many, many accidents there. And Wayne would go, when he would hear a crash, or if he happened to be coming home from work, he would stop and minister first aid to everyone that needed it, and waited till the paramedics got there, and then he just quietly slipped off into the background, never wanting any credit or recognition for what he had done. And that's the way he lived his whole life. Well, after a long stay at the Rocky View Hospital after Wayne was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he loved his family. He loved his home state. He loved Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And when he was transferred finally to the Bethany Care Center, which is a long-term care center, I have never seen so many people come in a hospital room to wish him best wishes and wishing him good fortune and good health. Of course, we knew the good health would never come. But they loved him in Canada, just like I hope that y'all love him here. On June 4th of this past year, Wayne passed away. And he had vascular dementia and lung cancer. And he had been fighting that for a very long time, but just refused to give in to his illness until he could fight it no longer. And when Wayne and I complete our 64 journey together here on this earth, I know I will be joining him in again, and we'll walk hand in hand, and we'll be saying, "Ooh, pig suey." And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you to his wonderful family, some of whom are here today, and I appreciate their journey to come here. I want to thank our God for blessing us with wonderful life, wonderful memories, and for me, a wonderful, wonderful, caring person who was always happy to work behind the scenes and never be up front. And I miss him and I love him to this very day, and I sure I will throughout eternity. And for me, the journey will never end. He'll always be my love since I was 12 years old. And when he rescued me out of that deep, dark woods in South Arkansas. Thank you so much.
Well, if one play could get you in the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, Kenny Hatfield had it. 1964, takes a punt 81 yards for a touchdown, the key play in that 14-13 win at number 1 Texas. So case closed right there. He was voted an All-American during that national championship season. He was the nation's leading punt returner in 63 and 64. His career punt return average of 16.1 is still a school record. He also led the Hogs in interceptions in 1962 and 63, as kick returner in 62 and 64. And we all know he had a great run as Razorback head coach. His record at Arkansas, 55, 17, and 1. Best winning percentage in Razorback history, led the Hogs to 2 Southwest Conference titles. And if I was asked, most importantly, to name the ultimate Razorback, it would be Kenny Hatfield, a great man and a Southwest Conference Hall of Famer.
Thank you, Steve. I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Cindy, and my brother, Dick, and all these people that came a long way, all the way from Cabot and North Little Rock to be here today. I also want to thank our regular luncheon group in the back and our Bible study who came all the way from Northwest Arkansas. and I do appreciate you and enjoy the time we share and we have together. You know, I want to thank you too, Jared, and Bill Montgomery, for thinking enough about the Southwest Conference and what it meant in history to include them in your Hall of Fame. And it's very special. It means the world to me and to all of us. I'm here today and want to thank Coach Frank Broyles, Coach Wilson Matthews, and all the coaches we had at Arkansas were there who taught us and gave us the confidence that we could be successful if we did what they said and played together as a team, and we did. I'd like to thank also all of our players we had who were so instrumental and with so much pride wore their red and white in every stadium in the state of Texas to represent the Hogs in the Southwest Conference. I also like to thank the most rabid and the craziest fans in all the world. There's nobody you see that has the guts to wear them hog hats and them hog noses all over Texas and get up and call them Hogs. It doesn't matter where. And they are special and they're unique. You know, the one thing, though, when I look back at the memory of the Southwest Conference and thinking about this banquet and us being here, everyone has your own special memories of the Southwest Conference, which was the most unique conference in all of football. And Dick and I were very fortunate. We went to the Cotton Bowl game in January the 1st, 1958, one of the first games we went to, and Daddy took Dick, me, and Ray Galloway, and we went down to the big Cotton Bowl Stadium. And that day, first thing we did when we got there, we watched all the snow plows getting the snow and ice off the field and put it on the side. We froze our butt off, and we were there to watch Bob Lilly and the great TCU Horned Frogs take on the upstart Air Force Academy Falcons. 0-0 in halftime, but we were all so excited because Air Force had the only performing mascot in the world. And so they let that Falcon up and let him go fly around one time. He was so cold, he went up on a smokestack and never came back. Right there. We had to get a new one when I went to the academy right there. He froze his butt off. But it was a great moment, and the game ended up a 0-0 tie, and one I'll never forget. My other great moment started in January 2nd, 1965, with 8 minutes to go in the game against Nebraska, and we got the ball on the 20-yard line. And Jerry Welch and our offensive line knocked Nebraska off the ball. Freddie Marshall scrambles on a big play and goes 14 yards. Throws the ball to Jim Lindsey, who makes a miraculous catch to keep the drive alive. We throw the ball to Bobby Bernett on a little flare route, takes the ball to the 2-yard line, and Freddie runs the option, pitches the ball to Bobby. He hurls in the end zone, scores a touchdown. And the last play I remember is old Forest City's Jim Williams, defensive tackle, running down that Nebraska quarterback and slamming him to the ground. Preserve the victory, preserve an undefeated season, preserve a national championship. Great moments in that Cotton Bowl. And then and one other that stuck out when I'm thinking about it was in January 1 in 1989. And we came out of the locker room there and walked down that old concrete tunnel to go into the Cotton Bowl. And as we got down there, I'll never forget, playing UCLA and Troy Aikman, there were over 50,000 red-clad Arkansas fans there in the stadium. I can still see old Jim Robkin up on that 10-foot ladder he got up there, and he was leading everybody in the fight song. One of the most memorable moments I ever had, and just recognition of how unique and how special all the Arkansas people are and all the Arkansas fans have been that make Arkansas what it is in the place in the Southwest Conference. I know every one of you got your own moments and memories that'll be with you forever. Today, I'm most honored to be part of this group of fighting Razorbacks who gave everything they had for their school in the Southwest Conference. It's a great day, and I'm really honored to be here. Thank you very much.
One other Coach Hatfield story was the rematch with Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and we lost something to 8. And I was working for the NBC affiliate. They insisted on going live, and he was the last one left in the locker room. And a lot of times coaches can say no. I said, any thoughts on that game? And he said, yeah, I regret using such a good 2-point play in a game like that. What a great man. Well, tiny Cherry Valley, Arkansas can celebrate tonight. What a small town success story. One of the most dominating tackles in Razorback history, in the history of the Southwest Conference, a consensus first team All-Southwest Conference and All-American, recorded 162 tackles in his Razorback career, including 37 for losses. He didn't like quarterbacks. Wayne still holds a single season and career sack records at Arkansas, 25.5 sacks as a Razorback. Helped the Hogs to 4 bowl games and a Southwest Conference title in 1988. He became one great pro. 11 NFL seasons, 171 games, 82.5 sacks. He's in the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame, and we're fortunate we don't have a quarterback being honored today because Wayne may have gone after him. How about our Southwest Conference Hall of Famer, Big Wayne Martin?
I didn't write a speech, but don't you like those introductions, how great we were back in the day? I love that. But first I want to thank Southwest Conference for having us. I know we ruled the Southwest Conference. We beat everybody. I'd like to thank Coach Hatfield, my wife, and my dad, that we could be here. He was instrumental in me coming to Arkansas. Not as much as my mom was, but he was very instrumental. My mom, every night, she worried me every night. You going to Arkansas? You going to Arkansas? You going to Arkansas? I mean, all the other teams that recruited me didn't have a chance. This is just such a great honor to be surrounded by so much history, so many great players, so many great coaches. I just love the University of Arkansas. I love the state, and I'm a man of few words. Everyone knows that. Like I told my agent, Kevin, I've never wrote a speech in my life. I just get up and speak from my heart. And, you know, I love the fans. And I got one story to tell. We played Texas in Little Rock in '87. They beat us on the last second play. It was the most heartbreaking, this is the most heartbreaking thing I've ever been in. I mean, that's the way Ole Miss feels this week. It was the most heartbreaking thing, but we played Texas next year in Austin. We dominated from the beginning, man. It was just, we beat them like 33-10, and that's the best memory, absolute best memory I have about being a Razorback. I really thank you guys. I thank Southwest Conference for having me and to have this award. And thanks, Coach, and thank all the fans in Arkansas. Thanks.
So glad to see John McDonald here today. I grew up a son of Irish immigrants, and I learned early that they butcher the English language. So I was waiting. He won multiple national championships, kept winning national championships. And after that 32nd one, I was wondering what he was going to call the next one. And it wasn't the 33rd, it was Turdy Turd Championship. Had to get over that growing up. Turdy Turd. Well, back in 1973, Niall O'Shaughnessy was a young running star in Limerick, Ireland. He decided to pursue the American dream by taking a chance on that man over there, an Irish track coach who was trying to build a track program in Fayetteville, and they forged a relationship that served as the foundation for the greatest track dynasty in college history. He was John McDonald's first All-American. He became the first athlete in school history to earn All-American honors in every academic year he competed, a 6-time All-American across 3 sports and 5 different events, the first Hog to win an individual event at the Southwest Conference Indoor Championships. His mile time in 1977 still ranks 9th overall. John McDonald called Niall O'Shaughnessy the ultimate teammate and one of the finest he ever coached. We lost Niall recently. His wife, Marcia, will accept the award, but she doesn't want to speak. Instead, we're going to watch highlights, 1 minute of his 354 mile. Southwest Conference Hall of Famer, Niall O'Shaughnessy, and his wife, Marcia.
From the University of Arkansas, the Southwest Conference champion. Last year, he ran the 3rd fastest indoor mile in history, 355.4. This is Niall O'Shaughnessy.
257.2. We're on world record pace. Berkeley now equals by O'Shaughnessy and Mike Slack. And Slack has a kick. O'Shaughnessy battles for the lead. We're coming to the gun lap. Niall O'Shaughnessy of Limerick County in Ireland has the lead. This could be the upset of the year. Look at O'Shaughnessy, the Arkansas Razorback. Slack goes after her.
Upset it is. O'Shaughnessy.
Niall O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy will take it going away. It could be a world record. And it's a photo for second. Unofficial 3:36.
All right, Baz, get your glasses on. Come on up here. You ready to go? How good was Billy Ray Smith? This from Lou Holtz, 1983 issue of Sports Illustrated.
The best football player I've ever coached. It was a joy to coach, a complete person, an 11 on a scale of 10.
He was a two-time All-American in all Southwest Conference selection, 299 tackles as a Razorback, including a school record for most career tackles for loss with 63. A team captain in 1982, member of the Hogs All-Century team, went on to have a great career with the San Diego Chargers. He's a member of the Chargers Hall of Fame. Today, another honor for one of the most decorated players in Razorback history. He's a Southwest Conference Hall of Famer. Let's hear it for Billy Ray Smith, Jr.
Guy's huge. Wait a second. I thought like I'm wearing the medal, and you're huge. You're towering over me. This is unbelievable, and thank you so much for providing me kind of a chance to get a reunion going with my former teammates and the people in the state of Arkansas. I've been out in Del Mar, California, Southern California, and it just kind of grabs you, and it doesn't let you go very often. So it's really nice to see everybody, and it's great to see my family that made the incredible trip up to Little Rock. My mom is here, Carol, and she's spectacular, and she's really responsible for a lot of my success. A lot of guys know, and a lot of people think, well, Billy Ray Sr. was 13-year pro and a great football player, no doubt about that. And he made sure that he taught me the finer points of the game, but Mom was right there too. And she was helping me out at every turn. My wife and daughter are here. And if we could have Kimberly and Savannah just stand up and wave or something like that, because stunning right there. There they are. A lot shorter than I remembered, though. I don't know, in this room, Dad is somewhere. Dad is looking down, and Dad is in this room, perhaps, and that's really the reason that you play football. When you have a dad like that, a guy that brings you in after your Pop Warner game, when you're 8 years old, and starts drawing up plays and coverages. I'm telling you, it'll wear you out just a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, it made me a much better football player. My coaches would probably argue with that. The fans, wow. Fans in the state of Arkansas are the greatest. The coaches that I've been able to learn the game from, again, it was a phenomenal experience. And my teammates. Can I have my teammates just stand up wherever, if there are any? I know there are.
Over here. Oh, wait a second. Donut. Donut. Come on. Stand up again. Donut. You know why? Richard Richardson, everybody. Richard Richardson saved my life. It's not funny, sir. Because my freshman year, I was a 205-pound nose guard. 205 pounds. And that lasted for about a game because they beat me black and blue. Donut was there, took over that nose guard position, and saved my life. You know it's true. You know it's true. Randy Wessinger, Sherman, Texas. Well, I tell you, Randy, I remember just some of the stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And the other, let me tell you something. We had a great team, and it would be so hard to zero in on what made our team so special. We just had a bunch of special guys that have probably done their share in special ed, but they're here. And thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. It's the 4 F's, as far as I'm concerned: family, friends, fans, and football. And I've already mentioned to you the greatest fans in all of college football, right here in the state of Arkansas. And I think you can give yourself an applause. Thank you. I can't express strongly enough how playing my football in the state of Arkansas is responsible for everything that I am as far as my football career is concerned. My incredible wife, Kimberly Hunt, she is an Emory Award-winning newscaster. And wait till you get a load of this. Kim, could you say hi to everybody? Just stand up and say, oh, you're not going to stand up? Oh, there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly Hunt. I thought she was going to respond better to that. I'm dead when this is over. Oh, my gosh. You know, it's just knowing that Dad is in this room, maybe looking down from above or something like that, and how big the smile on his face would be when he sees what's going on now. As far as the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, fantastic. I am blown away by the honor. And for those of you that came out, my family, my friends, my teammates, this is why it's all worth it. Thank you very much. You shave your face?
He's still giving me grief after all these years.
Look at the face. He didn't even shave
I'm
his
still a
face.
freshman to this guy. There's only one thing left to do. I want to thank Keith Ingram and Zach Vent from the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing to do to give a tribute to these great inductees, and congratulations again. Let's stand up and call those hogs. Hey, Suey. Come on, Jared. Hey, Suey. Pig, Suey, Razorbacks. Thanks for being here, everybody. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.